guys, Kelsey here. I am going to be sharing with you today my favorite cashew coffee. And so a lot of you guys who have followed me for quite some time, you know that I love doing creamy grass-fed coffee or creamy cashew coffee. I used to do grass-fed butter a lot. I did the bulletproof method. And most recently, in the past 6 months, I've been doing cashew coffee. And my dad actually introduced this to me. Long story short, my dad had a massive heart attack a couple years ago, and he has completely changed his diet and his ways with eating and living. And one of the things that he does is he replaced his powdered dairy hydrogenated crappy creamer with cashew creamer. And so he introduced cashew creamer to me, and then I discovered that I could actually just put raw cashews in my coffee, and because of the heat from the coffee, they actually ground into the coffee itself. And so I became obsessed with this recipe. It's so creamy, it's so delicious, and I'm going to be sharing it with you today. So a little background on grass-fed bulletproof coffee and why I do cashew coffee and not dairy. So I don't do dairy hardly at all. If I do dairy in my life, it's gonna be full-fat dairy, organic dairy, and raw cheeses. And the reason why is because dairy is a very caustic and inflammatory food. It can cause stomach issues, it can cause leaky gut, it can actually make your skin worse. And there's just a lot of research out there that shows that dairy isn't something, is typically a trigger, and it's not something that we should consume. I wouldn't say that we shouldn't consume, but much of our dairy industry today is completely processed, and all of the actual real nutrients and good stuff has been processed out, and what you're left with is a very processed beverage, if you will, and it also has a lot of inflammatory property to it. So grass-fed butter, guys, for those of you guys who are like, what, cashew coffee, grass-fed butter? That doesn't seem healthy. So here's the deal. I'm gonna give you the science behind why it works and why it's good, and I'm gonna tell you when you shouldn't drink it, or when I think you shouldn't drink it. So the whole science behind grass-fed butter in your coffee, or coconut oil in your coffee, or doing a fat like cashews, is that when you consume that, you are getting all those monosaturated fats. You're getting all those clean, healthy fats. And what happens is in the morning when you drink your coffee, your body needs something to feed off of for energy. So if you're drinking a coffee packed full of dairy, and that's gonna spike your insulin and also, or your glucose levels, and also sugar, your body's gonna feed off of that, right? And so what happens is once they fed off all the sugar, you then crash and you're tired, you're exhausted, and it's really not good for you. So the whole thing with the fat is that your body actually feeds off the clean fats instead of sugar. So it's using the fat for energy. So all that fat is not being stored in the body. It's actually being used up for energy. And what happens is it also balances out your blood sugar, because you're not using sugar for energy. You're actually using the fat, so it stabilizes that blood sugar, and all the sugar and the energy that your body needs in the morning, it's not taking it from your sugar stores, which would make you tired and lethargic and also hungry. It's taking it from that clean fat. So it actually leaves you more balanced, in a better metabolic state, and you have more energy. So if you are someone who is like, I really want to start drinking that coffee, I do want to say this. If you are not eating a clean diet already, when I say the word clean, what I mean is a high plant-based diet, a little bit of clean meat, lots and lots of veggies, okay? You're staying away from those hydrogenated oils, you're staying away from vegetable oil, soybean oil, corn oil, you don't eat fast food. This is gonna be a great option for you, okay? But if you're someone who does consume a lot of the processed stuff, and you're eating a lot of foods in boxes and, frozen meals and processed, McDonald's and Chick-fil-A, you don't want to be drinking this coffee. And the reason why is because you're just putting clean fat on top of bad fat, and fat is still fat, don't get me wrong. But if you have a clean fat in your body and you have a little bit of ketosis going on inside your body, you're gonna be just fine. But that combined with already an inflammatory state is not gonna be healthy, okay? So I just wanna preface that. So if you're looking to transition to a cleaner coffee and you are somewhat of a clean eater, this is gonna be a great option for you. So the coffee that I'm gonna be making today is going to be simple black coffee. This is hot coffee I did in my French press. I use an organic coffee from Trader Joe's, the Sumatra blend. I love Trader Joe's. I live there like 5 days a week. And what I'm gonna do is I am actually going to pour about 1/4 cup of black coffee, okay? So I'm pouring this in there hot into my Vitamix. This is an amazing, amazing blender I'm gonna tell you about in just a second. So that's about how much I'm gonna put in it. So then I'm gonna put a 1/4 cup of raw unsalted cashew. You can do cashew pieces, you can do whole cashews. If you got a powerhouse blender like the Vitamix, it's going to ground it up and you're gonna be just fine. If you don't have a Vitamix, this blender is a lifesaver and it is a game changer. I make my green smoothies in it, I make soups in it, I make my coffee in it, and it is so powerful and so useful, and it makes a really mean smoothie, let me tell you. So I'm gonna do a 1/4 and a cup, but if you don't have a Vitamix and you have just a regular blender, I don't know how it will really turn out, but what I would recommend is that you soak your cashews overnight. So you basically put them in a little jar, put them with some filtered water and let them soak overnight and then drain them in the morning because it'll soften them up so they'll actually incorporate a little better. And so then I'm gonna do about half a teaspoon of lion's mane. So this is mushroom powder. You don't have to do this. I like to spike my coffee with lots of good spices and herbs, and not really herbs, but spices for sure. Turmeric, cinnamon, I love essential oils. I'll do cacao powder and peppermint oil. I am going to do lavender today. So I like to make them kind of yummy and fun. So you can also do turmeric and grass-fed butter with cinnamon. That can be really yummy as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do about half a teaspoon of lion's mane. This is how, or you can just call it half a middle finger, whatever you wanna call it. And so I put that in there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do one tiny, tiny drop of lavender oil. So I recommend if you're using essential oils, the best thing that you could do is do it with a toothpick. So take a toothpick, stick a toothpick inside the top, and then you're gonna swirl it around inside of the blender because one drop can actually go a really long way and almost be too potent. So I recommend sticking a toothpick, swirling it around. I kind of eyed it and I know what I'm doing with this one, but just FYI for those of you guys who've never done it before. And if you don't want to put spices, you can just do regular Vitamix, just with the cashews and the coffee, and that's it. So what I'm gonna do, I put the cinnamon on last. So I'm gonna put this on. About a minute. We're gonna let it go for about a minute. It's gonna well incorporate. And so it's grinding up the cashew. You can see it's already a little bit creamy. And I love, love, love to serve my coffee in an ember, okay? For those of you guys who don't know what the ember is, it is life-changing, okay? I know I keep shouting out all these awesome things that I use. John got me this for my birthday. It connects to Wi-Fi on my phone. It's Bluetooth, and it's actually programmed to keep your coffee at 145 degrees minimum, so your coffee doesn't get cold. So if you're someone who heats up your coffee a lot, this is game changer. The minute it pours in, it senses the temperature, and it's going to keep it at that. And it actually notifies you on your phone when the battery's getting low and all that jazz. But it is awesome. It keeps your coffee warm. I am obsessed. I'm actually gonna get the larger one. This is the 10 ounce. They have a 14 ounce, and it is game changing. So now that we have this coffee, I'm gonna turn it off. You guys check out how creamy and delicious this coffee is. You ready? Can you see it? I don't want to overflow it. Guys, check it. Check it. If you guys watch my Instagram stories, I do morning pours all the time. So I'm gonna top it with a little bit of organic cinnamon, just like so. And there you have it. Check it out. Oh girl, you know you are my hero. Coffee makes me sing, guys. I love it. So that's it. That's my creamy, delicious cashew coffee. You guys can mix it up, do whatever you want. And I am going to be dropping a blog in the link in my profile. You can go to the Your Heart Is Mine blog to check out all the deets about my Vitamix, my Ember, and this amazing recipe. Talk to you later.